Going over 5 mistakes soccer players make when 1v1 with a defender. Keep these in mind so you don't make them in your next 1v1 situation. Hey, what's up guys? It's Dave here from Simplysoccer, where we're helping you to improve your game and stand out on the pitch. And on this channel, we release weekly soccer tip, technique, and training videos, all designed to help you do just that. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing and make sure you hit that bell icon as well so you don't miss any new videos that we do. Now in this video, I want to go over some of the common mistakes that players make when they find themselves in a 1-versus-1 situation with a defender. So make sure you start practicing these areas so you don't find yourself making these mistakes, and that you keep them in mind in those situations so that you can start beating more players 1v1. So the first one is going in with doubt when you take players 1v1. In a 1v1 situation, it's the same as when you're in a goal-scoring situation. In a goal-scoring situation, I believe every single time you should believe that you're going to score, because if you have any doubt, you're most likely going to miss. When you take someone one-on-one, you need to believe that every single time you're going to beat them. Now, although that may be a little unrealistic and you won't win every contest, you need to go in with the belief that you will. Because if you have even a little bit of doubt that you're not going to beat the player 1v1, you most likely won't. So have a bit of confidence in yourself. I mean, if you've been putting in the practice in training, if you've been practicing your 1v1 situations and your skill moves and your ability to take that person on, don't doubt yourself going into those situations. Always believe that you're going to beat that player, and you'll find that you will more times than not if you've practiced and you go in with that belief. Number 2 is not taking control. And what I mean by this is allowing the defender to dictate what's going to happen. Now, in some situations, you may not be able to do this because if a defender rushes in at you, you just need to react and try and do as much as you can in that situation. But there are going to be times where you can control what happens. You can put the defender on the back foot. You can do things the defender doesn't like. But a lot of players will let the defender lead them into an alleyway or won't attack them in time, and reinforcements will show up. Don't let the defender dictate the situation. Take control of the situation yourself and you decide what's going to happen, because if you don't, the defender surely will. Number 3 is something I would like a lot more players to do, and it's running at the defender. There are many times I've seen like a 1v1 situation with so much space in behind that defender where I'm like, dude, just run right at him. If you beat him, you have so much space to work with. Instead, the player will cut it back and pass it backwards. Take the risk in those situations. 1, because the risk paying off will give you a huge advantage, and 2, defenders hate it when you run at them. Now, not every situation is going to be like this. If you're in a congested area or a defender's already on your back or something of that manner, but if you have space to work with, if you just have that one defender and plenty of space in behind them, take a chance and some of those times run at the defender. This will make them nervous, and as you get better and better at this, you'll find more times than not you are succeeding in this situation. You know, I really love direct players who will run right at defenders and make them nervous. And not only does it make them nervous in that moment, if you succeed, it's going to make them nervous for a lot of the remaining time in the match, because they know a lot of the time when you get the ball, you're going to run right at them. And if they make a mistake while you're running at them, it could result in a goal-scoring opportunity for you, or it could result in something else advantageous for your team, which is the last thing that defender wants. Okay, so number 4 is actually a really big pet peeve of mine when I see it happens, and it's letting the defender recover. Look, when you beat a defender 1v1, it's not over after you've done that. You have to make sure there is no opportunity for the defender to get back and defend you again by either cutting across the space they're trying to occupy, so beating them and cutting across their path so they can't get shoulder to shoulder with you again, or by just exploiting that space as fast as you can. Again, each situation is going to be different, but if you beat a defender and you move slowly into that space, you're giving them the opportunity to run back and recover. And the best defenders are trained to recover quickly, meaning your window of time to take advantage of that space is going to get smaller and smaller the higher up you go in level. Okay, and number 5 is one I have to mention because I get a lot of players saying that they've, their skill moves are not working or they're not beating players and they're wondering why. And my biggest answer is, are you practicing enough? Have you practiced enough? Because the fact of the matter is, you can't just expect to be able to beat players one-on-one through these mindsets and through believing you can and through these different things if you haven't developed the muscle memory to do so. And I'm not just talking about skill moves by themselves, I'm talking about all aspects of taking a player one-on-one, which includes not letting them recover, which includes having the confidence to go in there, which includes knowing what to do in different situations, and this all comes down to how much you practice. So number 5 is one that definitely needs to be mentioned, and it's not working on your 1v1s in practice or enough. I get a lot of players to ask me why their skill moves are not working, why they're not able to beat players, and this is usually the number one culprit. Practicing. You need to practice this a lot. This is an area that you need to dedicate time to. And I'm not just talking about your skill moves, but I'm practicing also just using speed to beat defenders, by practicing different 1v1 situations and scenarios, so that when you get into the game, you can actually perform the right move in the situation, so you can explode after you've completed the move, so you know what to do in each situation. Because if you get in a game and you don't know what to do in those situations, well, you're going to lose the ball more times than not. So take everything else I've said, remember all of the things I've said, make sure you work on those areas of your game, but also make sure you're working on this in training, doing skill moves, using speed to move into space, bursting after completing a move, and all of that, because the more you practice that stuff the better you're going to get at this area. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments anything else you think a player should keep in mind when they're going 1v1 with a player, or are there any other mistakes you see players making all the time when they take someone on 1v1? Let me know in the comments. Guys, once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I would appreciate it if you hit that like button if you enjoyed this content, and also to share it so you can help the channel to grow. If you are new to Simplysoccer, please hit that subscribe button, and as always, I'm going to put 2 other videos up here on the screen so you can continue watching and learning and becoming a better player. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you get my free ebook Game Changer. I will have it down in the description. Again, it's absolutely free to get that. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.